Hey, what's up? Joe Vegas here. Another review. It's been a while. Yeah, just the holiday season. Not a lot going on in town where there's usually so much going on. Same as this weekend. Kind of a quiet weekend. Wasn't much going on here in Vegas. Did a quick search and I saw that Collective Soul was playing at the Palms. Let's see. I would never call myself a fan of Collective Soul. Like most people, they had a like them from the radio. 90s, early to mid 90s, I think is that time frame where they had a bunch of radio hits. Good band, good rock and roll. You know, there's like that, like Collective Soul and Live and those kind of bands. They were like, it was like they had the anger kind of grunge, but it just had this like more poppy. It was just more radio friendly, but you know, strong lyrics and strong rock, and it was good. I like that music. You know, you go back, it's good. So when I saw they were playing, the tickets were cheap. They were like $40 each. I said, fuck it. Let's go see Collective Soul. It's nothing. I've seen them before. Usually when they've come with another band. There's certain bands like, Collective Soul. They'll play with like Three Doors Down or Bush or Live. Like you see a lot of tours where those early 90s bands can't really carry big venues on their own. So they team up with another one and play larger venues, which makes for a great show for sure. I was surprised they came solo and it was packed. They did a good job filling up the Palms. That's not a small venue. So I don't know if it's just a product. There wasn't a lot going on, or they're just still bringing in crowds. So good for them for doing that. A little surprised it was not even an opening act that I know of. I mean, we were in the casino. I kind of timed it to come in during the middle of the opening act because I didn't see any opening acts that were even advertised. So, and by the time I walked in, they were already in their second song, I think, or third song of the set. So, surprised, they kind of just did their own thing, and that was kind of a theme throughout it. They were really, I didn't really remember. They're kind of unique. The lead singer, I think his name is Ed Roland or something like that. Rollins. Wasn't Live's lead singer Ed too? Were they all named Ed in the early 90s, lead singers? Anyway, he has his own vibe, man. He was wearing this crazy green suit, and he had a little carpet underneath his mic stand, little rug, which was interesting. And I'll get into it more, but let me get into the set list. There's a lot of hits on here, man. They're one of those bands like Live. I keep comparing them to Live because in my head they kind of go together. But Three Doors Down also, there's just a lot of hits. They were just pumping out hits, good songs that hold up. I mean, we're 30 years later now. Holds up. Cut the Cord, Heavy, All Our Pieces, Shine. That was early for the big hit like that. Precious Declaration, Better Now, Bob Dylan, Where Are You Today? She Said. Then they did The World I Know, which I thought was a really good version. He slowed it down a little bit. He had a lot of audience participation, had them sing the chorus a couple times. Love that song. That's a real all of this is really a time machine song for me. I don't know if everybody has those similar experiences, but for me, I grew up on the West Coast. I was living in New York in the 90s, and when I hear these songs, it just takes me right back to sitting on the subway, with those first MP3 players and listening to these songs and walking the streets of Manhattan. And it's just time. I hear them, I get real nostalgic. I don't know if that has that effect on other people. I guess it's where you were living and what you were doing at that time. But for me, they're very time machine kind of songs. December, awesome song. Then this was really unexpected, and they did a cover of The One I Love by REM because they're all from Atlanta. They're probably all buddies. REM was another one of those kind of 90s rock bands that just... Difference is REM just really went away. You forget how good they are, and you forget how big they were. They really just went away. I think Michael Stipe just made a decision that he was kind of done, and I can't even imagine if they would hit the road now the way ticket prices are. I think they can fill stadiums, REM. But it was nice to hear The One I Love. Great song. Gel, awesome song. Where the River Flows, and then they close with Run. Run's also a really cool song. The ending was, I never really saw an ending of a show like that, which I thought was cool, and it was nice. It was very... the song he did with an acoustic guitar, and as the song was ending, I don't think the lights didn't go on, but everybody came out from behind their instruments and they came up to the front and they were all waving and giving high fives to the crowd, and Ed was still with his acoustic guitar, slowing it down but playing it, and the guys were just clapping. It felt like the end of the show, but the song was kind of still going. And then they slowly started to walk off the stage while he was still strumming his guitar. It was no cord attached. And they walked over to like the dark spot of the stage next to the speakers where you could still see they're there, but they're out of the spotlights and out of the things. And again, the theater was still dark. And they just kind of huddled in a huddle with him in the middle playing guitars, and they were all clapping and hugging each other. And it was a really intimate way to walk off the stage. It was really impressive. I've never seen anything like that. It was like it was for them. It wasn't for the crowd. It was their, like, they loved doing this, and he said it. I think it's the same members. They love their band. They don't fight. They don't do anything. And there was such this sense of camaraderie. Is that the word? Camaraderie. I don't fucking know. I'm bad with big words. Camaraderie. But they were all in the corner and just kind of strumming it out. It looked like they were on a street corner. I don't know if that's how they started, but it was a very it was emotional. It was intimate. Intimate's the right word. And then slowly the song started fading out, and they just walked off stage, and that's how the show ended. The lights went on. There was no encore. There was none of that bullshit. They really did that show on their own. What's the word? They did it their own way. No opening act. Interesting way to walk off the show. The whole thing was done at like 9:30, 9:45. But it was good. It was a good show. I liked it. I would definitely recommend go seeing them if you like their style of music or that early 90s rock. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it a 7, 8. I think that's fair. Their music has never been music that like blew me away, like you emotionally connect to the music. It's just good rock and roll music, solid. So I'm sure if you're a fan and you know all their songs, I think you would love that show. He's a great frontman. Very speaks in between each song. He's an interesting guy. He's got interesting moves. You could tell he loves doing what he's doing, and that's what this whole thing's about. So good show. It was a good show. I like it. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, I recommend going to see them if they're on tour and coming to a city near you. And please subscribe. Please update. Leave comments if you've seen them. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you at the next show. Bye-bye.